Love 30.
Nice depth on the return of serve from Draper on that occasion. Well, that's the advantage Federer has in terms of tactics. Gets in a little bit of a hole at love 30, can just throw in a nice serve and volley behind a very meaty first serve, get himself out of trouble. Oh, nicely done.
13-40.
Good opportunity for Draper. Keeping Federer behind the baseline. You see Draper inside the baseline, taking the ball early.
Break point for the Australian. Federer getting away with that miss hit on the forehand drive volley, but nice aggressive play under pressure from Federer. Having to work hard in this opening service game. So that was poor shot selection from the Wimbledon champion.
Federer electing to try to hit a drop shot, but cross court. The whole court is opened up for angle. Draper able to execute.
Second chance here for Draper. Snuffed out. Draper not happy with the call, but it looked good from our vantage point. We're pretty much sitting on that line, and TMI confirms the fact that we were indeed correct in our initial assumption that the ball just clipped the edge of the line.
Advantage Federer.
Just not able to impart enough spin on that attempted topspin lob. It's given Federer an opportunity to wrap up his opening service game.
Deuce. Advantage Draper.
Very inauspicious start here from Federer. Draper's got to make the most of these early opportunities. That's just long. Very scrappy opening service game from Federer.
First game.
And Draper manages to make the most of those early opportunities and leads one game to none.
Support for the Western and Southern Financial Group Masters. Today,
Peter Lundgren ducking his head, wondering what's wrong with his horse in this opening game. Federer a little bit complacent coming out, making some lazy forehand errors. And Draper is a real fighter, and he will battle. He will not give Federer anything in this match.
Doesn't possess the hugest of serves. He'll be looking to get a high percentage of firsts in, keep the pressure on his opponent.
15 left.
Incidentally, these players have never met before on tour, so don't have any history. They'll know obviously how each other play.
Hey! 15 all. Turkey 15.
Early in this set, you can see that Federer footwork is a bit lazy, and he's made a bunch of unforced errors. Federer using his return to get himself in position and finally gets the footwork in the proper position, hits to the off court for the winner.
Gain Draper. Draper leads 2 games to none.
Draper getting away with not making enough first serves really for his liking, but Federer not really taking advantage of any of those opportunities that came his way in that game, and Draper leads 2 games to none.
$15 left.
Excellent return of serve from Draper, moving well inside the baseline.
And when you move inside the baseline, it allows you to take the ball earlier, keep your opponent off guard, not able to change direction for Federer.
Federer getting away with playing into the open court with the first half volley. Very makeable shot from Draper.
Interesting to see that double fault from Federer. We noticed that he struggled with his serve in the entire match against Roddick, and particularly in the third and final set, and that may be one thing that he's having a bit of confidence trouble with right now.
That's an incredible forehand pass from Draper. He was very deep behind the baseline.
Excellent extension, able to just keep the ball back in the court. And you see excellent movement from Draper. He's able to run down a ball that a lot of players wouldn't get to and do something with it.
That's a good point you make, Doug. Federer did say that he was unhappy with the rhythm on his serve last week in Montreal, particularly in the early rounds where he struggled against Gaston Gaudio. It did improve as the week went on, but was patchy against Roddick in the semis. And this morning here, not started very well at all.
Advantage, Draper.
Interesting to see Draper taking this ball inside the baseline, playing the ball on the rise, catching Federer off guard.
Deuce.
A little bit more pace on that first serve, and Federer electing to stay at the baseline, having just been past the point prior to that. So he's going to have to fine-tune his tactics if Draper continues to play this well.
Advantage to Federer. Let first. Game Federer.
That's much more like it. Second ace for Federer.
Draper leads 2 games to 1.
Wraps up his second service game.
Ladies and gentlemen, Western and Southern Financial Group Masters invite you to visit the
So
tournament
Federer
information
struggling for form
adjacent
early on
to
in
the
this
main
match,
entrance to the tennis complex.
and it
At
may
the
take him a
information,
while to settle in.
you'll find
Always
various
looks
souvenir items,
like
including
he's
a collection
struggling
series of
sometimes
tournament stands
to get
and
into the rhythm
phone,
of a match early on, and there's certainly not many players that play a similar game style to Draper, so it might take a little while for Federer to get used to
That's
that.
the tournament information booth.
I think the most difficult thing for Federer is his motivation, and he seems to be not playing with the high energy here in this opening round match, maybe thinking that he can sort of control the match, just playing his normal type of tennis. But as we talked about, Draper is a real fighter, and he's giving Federer a lot of trouble on Federer's serve early on in this match. And even when Federer hits big serves, Draper seems to be on the serve. So Federer's going to have to snap out of it real quick.
I think there's no doubt that Federer is going to be able to break the Draper serve, because Draper doesn't get enough free points off the first serve, and will allow Federer to get into enough rallies for Federer to be able to put Draper under enough pressure.
Take your seat quickly, please. Thank you.
Obviously important there for Federer to hold serve and stay within touching distance of Draper, so that when his opportunity comes along, he's able to take full advantage of it. That's the sight here from the top of the stadium on centre court. Not quite full to the 2,500 capacity, as you can see.
Draper dictating points early in the match, standing on the baseline or inside the baseline, pushing Federer behind his own baseline.
Fault. Fifteen.
That's good tennis from Draper.
I like the fact that he's attacking early in this match. He's putting all the pressure on Federer. And that's an excellent backhand topspin volley, sort of in between a half overhead, half volley.
14-15. Again, Draper.
Well, Draper gifted with a few uncharacteristic
Draper
unforced
leads
errors
3-1.
and regains his 2-game lead.
You mentioned the unforced errors. Federer with already 10 unforced errors in this match. Only played 4 games.
$15 left.
Starting to warm up the serve nicely. 3rd ace for Federer.
Excellent first approach by Federer. Draper drops the ball at his feet, but Federer is able to just take his time, plant his feet, not panic.
40-11.
Certainly starting to find a nice rhythm on the serve now, Federer.
Again, Federer.
Very comfortable service game there for Federer. Draper it is, though,
Draper
who leads 3 games to 2.
It's all about motivation for Federer at this point in time. As we said, Draper has nothing to lose, and coming off some fairly decent results in Indianapolis, he reached the quarterfinal. He beat Reynolds, Rosetsky, and Marty Fish, the American. And in Washington, he knocked off Todd Martin. So he is winning some matches.
All helps. 3-2.
$15 left. $30 left.
That's 3 missed returns from Federer. He's not sure that ball was out. Must have felt good when he hit it, but confirmation from Romano Gallotti that it was indeed just long. Looks like that ball caught the line. Very difficult when a player half volleys the ball on the baseline for the linesman to make the correct call. That will help Federer's cause. Nice long rally, plenty of shots coming out of the middle of the racket. It's one of the reasons why Federer will be frustrated at missing those opening 3 returns in this game, that Once the rally does progress, obviously he's got a better than average chance of winning it.
Yes.
Well, Draper's got to be careful here. He's let slip a 40-love lead in this 6th game. 3 unforced errors in a row, following the 3 unforced errors from Federer. Simply can't afford Federer back into the match.
Come on.
Advantage, Draper.
Draper yelling to himself, first serves. That one coming in at 117 miles per hour, and how he got in trouble this game after being up 40-love was missing first serves.
Gain Draper.
Finding another first serve when he needed it most.
Draper leads 4 games to 2.
Regains his 2-game advantage. Leads 4-2. Federer still with much work to do.
It's imperative for Draper to keep the pressure on, because we know that Federer is going to certainly step it up, so Draper is going to have to keep playing at this high level.
That was Glyn and Sherlyn Hewitt keeping an eye on the court. Their son's going to be gracing later in the day.
15 all.
Didn't really time the return. A little bit fortunate there, Draper, hitting it a little bit later than intended, which meant that he made a very effective inside-out backhand return.
Since Draper has taken this lead, he's started to make some unforced errors that he wasn't making earlier, maybe starting to realize he has a chance to win the set, now feeling a bit more pressure.
Game Federer.
Good service game from Federer. Still a breakdown,
Draper
though.
leads 4 games to
Draper
3.
leads 4 games to
New
3 in
balls.
this opening set.
So if we have an opportunity to see how both of these men are returning serve today, Scott Draper having success early on. See, he's taking a lot of the balls very close to that baseline. As we swing TMI around, you're going to see that the first serves, Federer's going to his backhand in the deuce side, but look at where Draper's positioning is. He's inside the baseline, moving in as close as he can. Same thing in the ad side. But if we look at Federer, his return positioning against Draper, who supposedly doesn't have as good a serve or as big a serve, you see the Federer is well behind the baseline, not only on first serves, but even further behind on second serves, meaning he's trying to run around and hit a lot of forehands off the second serve if he has time to do so. But it's just an interesting strategy employed, that this is different than what we would have expected.
There he is, in profile and in person. The current Champions Race leader. And there's no doubt about the fact that he will want to also become #1 in the world on the entry system. Needs to make the last 4 this week in order to do that and overtake Agassi for the first time in his career, and I'm sure it won't be the last. But immediately of concern to Federer will be this opening round match, in which he finds himself a breakdown in the opening set. Draper serving with the new balls at 4-3.
15.
Draper again having success with the off backhand. Federer doing something a bit different on that point, electing to step into the court on the Draper second serve, trying to catch his opponent maybe a step later.
Well, inexcusable miss really from Federer.
30-15.
And pushing it just about an inch wide. And he's absolutely disgusted with his inability to be able to make that simple shot. Takes the pressure right back off Draper.
Well, you have to applaud Federer's wanting to become more aggressive and charge the net, but he's not executing on the balls that we're typically used to seeing him make.
Game Draper.
Nice variation from Draper there. Federer will be used to him going down the tee with that serve.
Draper leads 5 games to 3.
And on that occasion, just flanning it out, going wide, which is a tougher serve for the lefty because it's going over the high part of the net and it's a flatter ball, but executing it to perfection on that occasion, and the Australian leads 5-3.
Very sloppy on the first volley.
Yeah, a lot of unforced errors from Federer at the net, and definitely something you wouldn't expect. He's only winning less than half the points when he finds himself in the forecourt.
Federer getting caught off balance at the net, but
15.
showing excellent athletic ability. He's able to keep his balance with his racket over his head. Excellent shot, big point.
Well, we know Federer has the hands and he can come out with some exceptional shot making, but today it's been the simple shots that have let Federer down. Nice combination from Federer, going
40-15.
deep enough on the first volley to force Draper into a slightly more defensive attempt at a pass, and then short on the second volley.
Game Federer.
More evidence of the talent of Federer under pressure.
Draper leads.
But Draper
9
still
games to
has
4.
a 5-4 advantage.
So let's see how Federer has served in this opening set. 4 aces. He's been able to get 66% of his first serves in which he's been able to win 78% of those. But if you look at the second serve percentage, that's where the difficulty is for Federer. He's only 4 for 12 on second serve points won.
Good indication there that Draper's really taken advantage of that, and we saw that early in the match where, as we've seen from TMI, he's been standing inside the baseline. And if we look at Draper's service profile, won't be happy with 46%, but they are effective when they go in. He's winning 82% of points when his first serve finds its mark. And look at that, Federer has not been effective when Draper's been down to his second serve. Draper winning 62% of the points. So that's something certainly that Draper will be very happy with, but it's something as well that Federer will have to try and rectify if he's to fight his way back into this match.
And Federer will try to exploit the Draper second serve in this game, as we saw him try to get in a little bit closer in the last service game. He needs to try to start dictating the points.
Too many unforced errors so far from Federer early on in the Draper service games to really put a significant amount of pressure on Draper, but he certainly will be feeling a little bit more nervous about holding serve in this game. Opportunity now to serve for this opening set. That's exactly what I was talking about. Just an unforced error early on, letting Draper off the hook. Gives him a chance here now to open his shoulders with nothing really to lose. It's a poor forehand volley from Draper.
The reason why it wasn't a good one is because it was a tentative one. You didn't step in close enough to the net, and you give Federer one extra shot, you're probably going to lose the point.
Another interesting fact is that Draper's having a lot of success to the deuce side when serving, and Federer not taking advantage of that then gives Draper an opportunity to win at the ad side, which is the favoured side for the lefty. Much easier for most left-handers to be able to win the point when serving to the ad side as opposed to the deuce side.
Oh. 40-15.
Federer really all at sea in these Draper service games. After just 30 minutes of play, Draper stands at set point.
Game man, first set, Draper. 6 games to 4.
Well, Draper really gifted the opening set in many instances, particularly in that last game. But that won't bother the Australian. Wraps up the opening set, 6 games to 4.
You made an excellent point about Draper's success to Federer in the deuce side, whereas we expect most lefties to have their success in the ad side. And I think one of the reasons for that is you tend to focus, as a left-hander, you tend to focus a little bit more in that deuce side because you think, you take for granted you're going to win a lot of those points in the ad side. So Draper's had a lot of success serving down the tee, pulling Federer wide, and Federer's been very good as expecting the backhand wide in the ad side.
Certainly has. Let's take a look at the first set summary. Draper, as you said, not serving as well as he would like, but they are effective. Only 45% of first serves. And look at the ratio of winners to unforced errors. 9 winners and only 6 unforced errors. If you play against Roger Federer and you make only 6 unforced errors in a whole set of tennis, you're going to be absolutely delighted. Federer, on the other hand, serving at 67%, but returning very poorly indeed. Look at that. He didn't manage to get 1 break point in the whole set. Let's enjoy some winning shots from that opening set.
Second set, Federer to serve.
So Draper with an excellent opportunity here of one of the biggest wins of his career at the ripe old age of 29.
15 left.
One does feel, though, that Federer is going to find the clutch at some stage in this match. It's just a question of when.
30 left.
Well, the tactic was a good one, but the execution very poor from Draper.
14.
You're not going to get any change out of Federer if you come in on shots like that. Federer with all the time in the world just to pick his spot, playing high percentage with the forehand inside out.
Game Federer.
So Federer's game improving on his own serve.
First game, second set.
Still with a lot of work to do when Draper serves. And it's going to be interesting to see if he changes his tactics. We've already looked at TMI and seen the return of serve hit points. If Federer changes any tactics to try and get a little bit more out of the Draper serve.
Well, what's happening now is he's letting the ball play him even on the second serve, where he's waiting for it to come to him. And typically we see Federer being much more aggressive, especially on second serves, where he can take the ball early and even approach off the backhand. So it's all about his positive momentum and his motion at this point in time.
15 left.
Really has varied his serve very well indeed so far in the match, Draper. Well, that's too good.
Well, the difficult thing for Federer is against most players, that inside-out forehand that he's hitting is to their backhand, but that's to Draper's forehand, and it's easy for him to go up the line with that forehand. Federer not able to cover.
14.
Certainly seems to me that Federer's had problems fine-tuning his game plan, playing against a lefty with a game style that's not that familiar.
Game Draper. 1 game ball.
Excellent variation on the first serve from Draper. That's exactly what he needs to do. He'll be used to doing that because he doesn't possess one of the biggest serves in the world, only 114 miles an hour, that last one, but it was a little bit of slice on it into the body of Federer.
I guess the surprise here is not so much that Federer's been able to hold serve easily in the last few games, but that Draper's been able to hold serve so easily.
That's Scott Draper's brother, Mark, who also doubles up as his coach.
14.
Yet to drop a point on the first serve in this set, Federer. 5 for 5.
Game Federer.
Not the best of games from Draper. That won't bother Federer.
Federer leads 2 games
Who leads
to 1.
2 games to 1 in the second set.
Federer still not having an answer for the Draper serve, but the good news is he's holding serve with relative ease, having not lost a point in the second set. Now just trying to figure out what he needs to do differently to break serve.
I think he's got an advantage in the second set because he's serving first. I think a player of Draper's caliber is going to start to feel the pressure more and more the longer the match goes on. He's going to be thinking to himself, can I keep this standard up? Can I keep serving this well? Is Federer going to find the clutch? Is he going to up the level of his game? And am I then going to be in trouble? There are going to be all those doubts entering Draper's mind as the match progresses, because obviously a player ranked 114 in the world is not used to being in this situation against somebody who has the possibility of becoming the world #1 later in the week. So it's going to be interesting to see how this match pans out mentally.
All of the possible psychological dilemmas that are facing Draper, we're going to find out in this set. Hopefully all his experience in his 29 years of age will help him to know how to deal with the situation in a very positive way.
1-2.
15 love.
Certainly is having an excellent day in the office as far as his serve is concerned. Serving at 80% in this set.
And a really smart move starting off a game, going wide to the Federer forehand, not expecting that type of serve out of the box.
Well, that's another sign of the Draper confidence, taking some of those backhands extremely early on the rise there and forcing Federer to play 6, 8, 10 feet behind the baseline. And therefore, that's why the short volley from Draper was very effective.
Well, that's the shocker, and that is that Draper's able to run Federer where you'd be thinking Federer would be running Draper.
Game Draper.
Well, we keep waiting for the bubble to burst, but so far so good for Draper. Another comfortable service game. And we're back on level terms at 2 games all.
And maybe this is one of those days where the bubble won't burst for the underdog.
I'll be certainly hoping that's true. But you always feel that a player of the caliber of Federer is going to be able to change gear at some stage. Almost identical match to his opening one against Gaston Gaudio last week in Montreal. He found himself in all sorts of trouble.
Love 15.
Before finally coming through in a tight third set match. Playing much better thereafter, it has to be said, but worrying times for Peter Lundgren.
Well, that's just well done by the Australian, taking the Federer second serve early, hitting it inside out, and catching Federer by surprise. And there's an excellent volley, catching the ball way in front, nice underspin.
Love 14.
Well, look at the position. Draper took that second serve return in well inside the baseline on the rise. Federer not even having a chance to finish his service motion before he saw the ball flash past him. Fantastic tennis from Draper. 3 break points. Well, everybody knows that this is a huge opportunity for Draper. Cannot afford to show any signs of tension. Still got 2 more break points.
Two poorly played points back to back. Second serves from Federer. Draper netting the first one off a forehand and then an unforced error on the next one. We haven't seen him make those type of errors up to this stage of the match.
Well, we mentioned the fact that he was definitely going to be able to feel the pressure, and now he's had 8 opportunities to break Federer's serve. He's only converted on 1 of those, and those 3 points there, it was the way he lost, the manner in which he lost those points, which would be disappointing.
Advantage Federer.
Draper may look back on this match and look to this particular game if this match slips away from him.
Deuce.
A lifeline thrown to Draper, at least as far as this game's concerned. Third double for Federer. You really feel this is the ideal moment for Draper to make a move. Nicely done, excellent footwork. Getting right on top of the net, moving through the ball.
Advantage
Draper
Federer.
trying to play a little bit of cat and mouse, but Federer up to the task, closing in on the net beautifully, not letting the ball drop too low.
Game Federer.
Federer gets out of jail.
Federer leads 3 games to 2.
3 games to 2 in this second set, and he'll be delighted to still be able to say that he's in the lead, because he was in all sorts of problems there.
Let's take a look at the various ball placements from both of these players. First, we'll have a look at the Australian Scott Draper, and he's standard trying to go to the Federer backhand. Well, we could tell that his strategy was to try to hit as many balls as possible to the Federer backhand and try to attack on that side. And there you can see. Now if we take a look at what Federer's strategy is against the left-hander, it's to go, you look at, there are very few balls hit on the left side of that court. Most everything is hit toward the Draper backhand, and it's either short, middle, or toward the baseline, but everything is in that direction.
And that's interesting as well, because when we looked at TMI earlier and we looked at Federer's serve placement, a lot of the serves out to the outside, which is the Draper forehand, but that gives you the impression that he was using the serve to open up the court to then hit his first ground stroke to the Draper backhand.
That's an excellent point, and that's the way a lot of these top players play the lefties. The way they break down the weakness is to play the strength first.
Love 15. Left.
Really exposing the Draper forehand there, Federer.
Love 30.
Putting a little bit of extra pace on the ball. Been quite a swing in terms of momentum in the last 5 minutes.
Love 14.
Well, now it's going to be interesting to see whether Draper can get himself out of the hole. The game previous to this, it's exactly what Federer was able to do, recover from a love 40 deficit. And I'm not so sure Draper's going to be able to do exactly the same thing here. Certainly helps if you can make your first serve.
16-14.
Well, as we've seen Federer employ a strategy of pulling Draper wide off the court. On the deuce side, Draper pulls Federer wide off the court in the ad side to open up the court.
Hey. 13-14.
Still hasn't cut out all his unforced errors, obviously.
It's not bad, 122 miles per hour on a break point.
It is not bad at all. Desperately needing another one here.
Advantage, Draper. Collection ball is good. Replay the point.
Immediate overall from Romano Grolotti. I think both players knew that the ball was good. Just a poor call from the linesman. Let's have a look with TMI to see whether, well, it's well inside the line. Good decision and good umpiring.
Deuce.
Draper still having much success serving wide to the Federer forehand in the deuce court, getting a lot of those first serves in, catching Federer off guard and not ready.
Again, Draper.
Well, Draper will be delighted to have got himself out of the hole there. Love 40. Federer had a couple of second serves to have a look at.
3 games.
Again, too many unforced errors, and then Draper finding his first serves when he needed them most towards the end of the game. So both players having opportunities midway through this second set, neither managing to take advantage of them.
We saw Federer in the previous game be down love 40, and Draper have several opportunities on second balls and not able to execute. And then it looks like Draper's in big trouble that last game, down love 40, and serves, like you said, excellent first balls to come back.
Love 15.
Draper really picking the Federer serve, catching it well in front, and Federer having to hit up, half volleying it, and then sloppy on the next volley.
A little bit of fortune there for Federer.
Draper seemingly in control of this point, going behind Federer, than Federer with the great athletic ability, just flicking his wrist last second. Draper not able to change his position at the net, the ball being able to just slip by him.
Let first service.
Well, Federer has also varied his first serve well enough to keep Draper guessing.
Game Federer.
And that's a good example of opening up the court with the serve to the Draper forehand and the outside. Worked well on that occasion. Federer leads 4 games to 3.
3 sets to Wayne Ferreira. Then they headed up the coast to the vineyards
Thank you.
up in the northern part of California. They have some wine property there, and that was their first trip there. They had a great trip, and they love California.
Back to business for the Hewitts and back to business for Draper, serving at 3-4. There's no call. It certainly looked wide from our vantage position. No call from the linesman.
It's a close call, maybe you're right, Roger, but he called the ball good. Yeah.
I mean, that ball's 3 inches out. It's an awful call, but as you can see...
I saw the ball goes to the line and probably had the feeling, but I checked with him and said the ball is good. I cannot touch the ball.
TMI confirming the ball's well out. But if you have a look...
I don't know, I say the ball is good. Yeah, I'm watching, but...
If you have a look,
I can miss sometimes.
Again, you can see the linesman here standing directly behind Federer when the ball bounces. So it's very difficult indeed for the linesman to see whether the ball's in or out.
And what we don't see from that shot is Draper actually stopped playing also. He thought the ball was wide as well.
Sorry?
Draper now giving the point to Federer, saying the ball was well wide. Nice sporting gesture from Draper.
Yeah, you can say sporting gesture. I don't agree with that. He's playing a man who's far as superior. How does he know that Federer's going to do the same for him? How many opportunities is Draper going to have to win a match like this? He's not supposed to overrule the umpires.
Well, winning isn't everything. You have to do what you feel is best given the situation. Draper obviously feeling it's better to be fair. It's not a case of winning at all costs for Draper. Paying the price.
Loved it.
Draper with an excellent topspin backhand, but Federer with a better reply.
Well, that was another indication of why Federer has been struggling in this match. Much to note for Lundgren. Just inexcusable to miss that return of serve. No pressure whatsoever. Plenty of time.
Excellent serve. Jam body. Federer's forehand. Draper giving away some points in this game, but trying to make up for it.
Super tennis from Federer.
Draper well behind the baseline. Federer just teeing off on both sides, keeping Draper running side to side, and then Federer closing off the point.
Chance now for Federer. Hasn't played particularly well on the break points, the 3 that he's had so far. Chance to make amends here. Draper will be delighted with his ability to be able to hit such a good serve under extreme pressure.
Advantage Draper.
Another good serve into the body. Federer just taking his time now. Obviously disturbed at his inability to be able to take advantage of these opportunities that keep coming his way. He's going to run out of time unless he does something soon.
Federer with the off forehand and having success.
Advantage Federer. Game Federer.
Well, the length proving too much for Draper, and in the end,
Federer leads 5 games.
Federer has managed to take advantage of one of the many opportunities he's had in this set to break the Draper serve. And now the Champions Race leader has the opportunity to serve for the second set.
15. Turkey. 14.
Again, attempting to take the ball well inside the baseline. Not managing to contact the ball though, and it's given Federer 3 set points.
Left.
A little bit of indecision from both players. Definitely was a let though.
Game and second set Federer. 6 games.
And an effective second serve into the body of Draper means that Lundgren's going to be a little bit happier. We now stand at settle.
Ladies and gentlemen, Western and Southern Financial Group Masters invite you to visit the tournament information booth adjacent to the main entrance to the tennis complex. At the information booth, you'll find various souvenir items, including a collector's series of tournament pins, and the book from Club.
Draper sure had his opportunities to win or to go ahead in that set. We'll see if the stats tell us how he was broken down by Federer. 34 minutes. Draper serving 68% first serves, Federer 64% first serves. But Federer was able to really pick up the winners. 14 winners to Draper 7. He doubled the output, and look at how he was able to limit the amount of unforced errors, only 3. Draper making a lot of those unforced errors when it started to be a chance for him to win that set or go up a break, and not converting on the 3 breakpoint opportunities. Federer converting the 1 that he needed.
Let's enjoy some of the better moments from that second set. into the third set here in this first round match on day 2 of the Western and Southern Financial Group Masters in Cincinnati. Scott Draper played an excellent first set, particularly when serving, and had opportunities early in the second. Love 40 on the Federer serve, just in case you weren't with us. But then, having not been able to convert any of those breakpoint opportunities, it was Federer who then managed to raise the level of his game, and we now find ourselves at the start of the deciding set.
Thank you.
And the game you're speaking of was the game where Federer was actually serving a 2-all, I believe, down love 40.
Fifteen left. Thirteen. Fourteen. Fourteen, 15.
Always difficult, particularly here in the States. Those nets are taut, so sometimes, as was the case there, the ball bounces deep at the baseline, having touched the top of the net.
Fourteen, 30. Game Draper. First game.
Perfect start for Draper in this deciding set. He also has the advantage of serving first, which he didn't enjoy in the second. You can see the family resemblance there. Scott's brother. Just trying to help out his brother. And it's certainly difficult for Draper, whose entry system ranking is 114. He knows that these opportunities are few and far between of getting a big win in a Masters Series event in terms of both prize money and ranking points, so he obviously wants to make the most of this occasion.
15.
Federer's serve starting to dominate Draper, set him up for lots of easy second shots.
Game Federer. One game.
Certainly improved his serving in the last set and a bit. Federer. It's just been on the return games that he's really struggled. We'll see what happens here with Draper serving at 1-all.
Left first serve.
Draper still having
15.
much success hitting to the off court, changing direction of the ball, catching Federer behind him.
13. Fourteen, 15.
Oh, superb.
Draper.
So, three
Draper leads
excellent
2
games
games
to start this deciding set. Both players managing to hold serve. Draper it is who holds a 2-1 advantage.
Like the last play from Federer, decided to take a second serve and come in, but Draper was up for the challenge. And a lot of times it's easier to pass when you're way ahead in a game than when the game is like a 30-all type of game. Draper certainly in this match has been able to fight through highs and lows all the way through his career, with the loss of his wife as well. He lost his wife to cancer. He's had to battle back from so many challenges in his life. And once again, at the age of 29, still showing that he's a formidable opponent for so many of these top players.
Fans enjoying a day out at the tennis. Starting to fill up now. First match of these North American hardcourt events are always sparsely populated. It's a tremendous stadium. In the evening, generated some excellent atmosphere last night. Fernando Gonzalez playing some exceptional tennis, beating Brian Verhaley, and then Bobby Ginepri coming through against Radek Stepanek in the last match of the day, which was rain interrupted just before Ginepri ran away with the deciding set. And first match today here on the centre court is featuring number 3 seed Roger Federer against the qualifier from Australia, Scott Draper.
First sign of disgust from Draper, feeling like he had control at that point. The bad news for Draper is that Federer's found the rhythm on his serve and has not really come close to losing his serve since earlier in that second set.
Game Federer.
You're certainly right, Doug. Federer now winning his serve very comfortably. And that, for me, signals danger for Draper, because I think it's going to be difficult for him to break the Federer serve. But you never know against Roddick. Federer's in pretty good control of the match in the third set till he played a sloppy service game, let Roddick back in the match before eventually losing in a third set tiebreak last week in Montreal. So Draper will know that. We'll be hoping that's exactly what's going to happen today. But on the evidence of the first few games and the last few of the second set, the first few games of this third set, it certainly looks like Federer's been able to find the clutch. He's playing a little bit better.
Fault.
I question the tactics from Draper at that point. He had two short forehands, electing not to come in on the ball, and then getting himself in a position where he couldn't move his feet out of the way, making another unforced error.
I think that's a tight call. It looks good from here. Let's take a little look and see if we can see. I think that ball's good, touching the line.
And interestingly enough, we'll see Federer gives the point back to Draper when Draper did the same to him, but no way.
TMI confirming the ball did touch the line. There's no way Federer is going to get involved. And now, as you said earlier, Doug, when that incident happened, it could cost Draper. And Federer now has 3 break points. No doubt about whether that ball was in or out. Plumb on the line, 121 miles an hour. Draper digging deep.
Wonderful first serve, 122 miles per hour under pressure.
Well, it was a late call by the Lions lady, but it was indeed just long. Once again, Draper recovering from a love 40 deficit. It remains to be seen, though, whether he will hold serve as he did in the second set.
Excellent hustle by Draper, getting one more ball back in place, stabbing to make a lob, and a good lob.
Huge point for Draper. Well, Draper obviously thinks that ball was in as well.
This is wide. No, I can tell you that this one was a little bit wide. The other one probably was good, but this one was wide.
You don't want to be hearing from the umpire that this one was a little bit wide, but the other one was probably good.
So why didn't he step in if it was probably good and change the call? Isn't that what he's sitting up there to do?
Exactly right. TMI showing the ball was just wide, so Romano Grillotti was indeed correct about that call, but poor umpiring if he thought the other ball was good and he didn't do anything about it. It's good stuff from Draper. Given the circumstances, it would be nice to see Draper come through this game.
If you're rooting for him.
Ball's been called good.
I have the mark from here. Yeah. For me, I cannot call it. That's wrong.
Finally, one goes Draper's way. Federer disgusted, but Draper 3-2.
Well as the chair umpire. And the second thing is, once Scott Draper decides to change a call from a lines person, he's then opened the match up for other people to lose their confidence, meaning those lines people losing confidence in their ability to call the balls.
Well, after all that, Draper was able to hold serve, and Federer now stands at 2-3. Just tried to get a little too cute with that chip backhand. Always going to run out of court once he came inside the ball. No luck for Draper. Some excellent athleticism from Federer, doing very well to pick the volley up off his shoelaces, and then that was the shot. Draper really read it and should have made the forehand.
New ball.
So more confirmation that Federer has found the rhythm on his serve. Draper unable to pose any problems for Federer, and under extreme pressure on his own serve in the last service game. So really now you feel, even though we're locked at 3 games all in this deciding set, that Federer very much has the advantage. Draper has the advantage of serving with new balls.
It's just so peculiar to see someone with the ability of Federer playing so much defense against a man who's not even ranked in the top 100 in the world.
Well, an excellent serve there. It wasn't all about pace, it was only 101 miles an hour, but it was all about slice and accuracy. 5th ace for Draper. Looking a little sluggish on that occasion, Federer. Oh, well played. Showing he can be just as athletic as his opponent. Draper on that occasion doing exceptionally well to take that ball out of the air and regains the lead, 4-3.
Reminds you that hot weather makes us prone to heat-related problems. Please remember to keep cool by these methods. Drink plenty of fluids, seek shade, wear a hat.
Draper doing very well, holding serve, playing some of his best tennis on his own serve, needing to somehow find a way to put some pressure on Federer. Federer's just not been tested at all since really being down love 40 earlier in that second set. It's going to be interesting if Draper tries to do anything strategically different to try to make Federer hit some more balls.
Tie.
3-4.
Thank you. Sit, please. Place already. Thank you. Fifteen left.
Lovely languid service motion that Federer has. Never seems to be exerting any kind of real problems. Some excellent shot making from Draper.
But it's easy for Draper to hit these types of shots when he's down 40-love in a game.
Especially when Federer fails to find the length required to put Draper under pressure.
Game Federer.
More success with the serve and volley tactics for Federer.
4 games.
Manages to draw level at 4 games all. So now we're really getting to the business end of this match. Very important for Draper to start the game as well as possible, just checking to see whether the sun's going to be out. He's serving from the difficult end, being a lefty.
15 left.
Draper just overcooking the forehand approach. Federer obviously improving his play in terms of unforced errors since the beginning of the match. Played a dreadful opening set by his high standards. Now you feel that this is really the time when Federer will bring all his experience to bear. Draper desperately needs a Very good first serve here. Finds it. Federer electing to go with the block return. Disappointed he didn't make Draper work a little bit harder to win that point. Excellent length from Draper on that occasion.
14-13.
An emphatic end to a very good service game from Draper.
Draper leads 5 games.
Now leads 5 games to 4. His deciding set.
I really like the energy we're seeing from Draper. He was down in that game. He decided to stay aggressive, step into the court, and then really rely on his serve to bring him through on the crucial points.
Yeah, well, he certainly has served particularly well. Overall in the match, 63% of first serves have found their mark, but in this set, 75% of first serves have gone in. So he's been able to raise the level of his game when it matters most, and that's always the sign of a champion. So even though he's ranked outside the top 100, he's played much higher than that ranking suggests today. And for Federer, he's done exactly the same. Overall in the match, serving at 67%, but in this third set, serving at 71%. So the standard of tennis has certainly improved in this deciding set, as has the weather.
Take your seat quickly, please. Thank you. Time.
So now there's an opportunity for Draper to really put Federer under a lot of pressure. If he can get one of these first 2 points, serving from Federer.
15 left.
Federer electing to take a big chance on this second ball and swings Draper way off the court, comes in with an excellent volley, but he really went for that second ball.
13 left.
And he really went for that first ball too. As we said, serving particularly well in this deciding set. 12th ace.
14.
Just too much heat on that first serve. Draper getting caught, the ball right at his body.
Game Federer.
No chance for Draper in that game. We're back on level terms.
5 games.
5 games. Worrying times for Lundgren, though he'll be confident with Federer having won so many matches over the summer, with his charge coming through this first round match.
Love 15.
Nice return of serve. I think Draper expecting perhaps a forehand cross-court to his weaker side, the backhand. Federer changing it up nicely by going down the line on the return.
What I like about that play from Draper, he's varying the serve a lot, and now he's catching Federer off guard with the very wide serve to the backhand in the ad court. Starting to go with his best serve at a big time.
13-15. 30 all.
Taking a bit of a risk there, Draper. Trying to go down the line to get at the Federer backhand. Federer just patient throughout the rally. Nicely done.
What I really like about this play from Draper is he elects to come in down the center, not giving Federer any angle, and Federer not up to the task. Draper able to close the point off with a high forehand volley.
Well, full marks to Draper. Played 2 excellent points from 30 all.
6 games to 5.
Regains the lead. 6 games to 5. So one would obviously feel that Federer is the favourite to come through the situation because he's been in it so very many times before. And he's won so many close matches, particularly throughout the summer. But there's been no let-up in Draper's play, so he's got to feel pretty good about having a lead in this deciding set.
And I actually think he's been able to raise the level of his tennis. We've seen him be under pressure serving and pull out big first serves when he needs them. And really, even if he doesn't break serve here, he gets into a tiebreaker where he only needs to win 7 points to knock off, well, the man who could be #1 in the world.
And the man who is #1 in the world in the champions race.
Exactly.
Needs to make the semi-finals this week to take over a top spot from Andre Agassi in the entry systems. Some Midwestern bells at the tennis.
Time.
Federer, 5-6.
15 left.
Just a slight glimmer of opportunity here for Draper. An excellent return of serve, and that slight glimmer is now turning into a real opportunity. Excellent length on the return, causing Federer all sorts of problems. Good first serve from Federer. 2 points away, Draper. Forehand sails long of the baseline, and after an hour and 42 minutes of what we have to say has been excellent tennis as far as Draper's concerned, the Australian qualifier stands at match point. Well, Draper can't believe that return sailed long. It was mightily close. But Federer confirming that it was indeed just wide, and so does TMI. We're back at juice.
Advantage Federer.
play from Draper, unloading on the forehand side.
And I love the perseverance from Draper, not giving in, still feeling he has a great opportunity, just 2 points away.
He's made it. Federer bamboozled at the net.
Call it what you may, but a wonderful topspin passing shot off the forehand side. Threads the needle to match point.
That's already naked.
Solid as a rock.
Draper doing everything he can, getting the ball back in play, but you can see Federer right on top of the net. All he has to do is just touch the ball over.
So, nervous times for Lundgren. 2 match points have come and gone for Draper. Federer now has an opportunity to take us into a third set tiebreak. Federer's living dangerously. The slice backhand skids off the edge of the line. But touch the line it does, and that's allowed Federer to draw level. And we're down to a tie-break to decide the outcome of this opening match here on centre court on day 2 of the Wetham Western and Southern Financial Group Masters. Tie-break records for 2003. Very much in the positive for Federer, but also for Draper.
Draper still having a lot of success kicking the ball wide out in the deuce side to the Federer forehand. Federer making a lot of unforced errors today off that side.
Well, it comes with the territory. If you're going to try and take the return of serve early, sometimes it's going to be difficult to time the ball. It's getting a little bit sweaty out there. Just coming up to 1 o'clock local time here. It's hot and humid. Draper struggling to have any success at all when Federer has served in this third set.
Well, he did have 2 match points, but Federer came up with some of his best stuff at that moment, at those moments.
An uncharacteristic error by Federer.
3-2, Draper.
There it is. Federer gave Draper the opportunity by volleying cross-court, not putting the ball away.
4-2.
And Draper running excellently to the ball, setting up to hit the cross-court backhand across the lower part of the net.
Federer had to move to cover the line, follow the line of the ball, so the opening was there for Draper. And taking advantage of it was another thing altogether. With this kind of pressure, full marks to the Australian. Can you believe it?
Draper.
Charity at the absolute perfect time for Draper.
Shake of the head from Lundgren. Draper now surely will not have a better opportunity to wrap up this match. 2 mini breaks, 2 serves to come, 2 points away. A wayward forehand from Federer could well have sealed his fate. Draper now with 4 match points, and this is his 3rd of the match.
Well, you'd have to say that Roger Federer has saved his best for the end.
Well, a wry smile on the face there of the Draper clan, because you can't play a better point than that. He'll still feel good about his chances. 4th match point. Solid as a rock under pressure, Federer.
6-4, Draper.
Playing some of his most aggressive tennis when he needs it most. 5th match point for Draper. Well, 5 have come and gone now.
6-5, Draper.
For the Australian qualifier. And he has 1 left. But the key is, he gets to serve. Will he go wide?
Thank you.
As he has done for the majority of the match. I thought the ball was long, but the call was so late.
She was a little bit late, but the ball was out.
It's so close.
6-all.
So very close to see.
No, she moved the arm first, and then she comes with the ball.
TMI has the ball at the back edge of the line. Sensational stuff here on centre court. Scott Draper has not had the rub of the green in this match in terms of line calls. And Federer has made the most of it.
And that's just horrible umpiring. The chairman not willing to step in at that crucial moment.
Thank you.
6-all. It's good tennis, but it's too good from Federer.
And where has this tennis been from Roger Federer all day? He's waited for basically being down several match points. 2 on his own serve, 6-2 down in the tiebreaker, and he's played flawlessly.
Well, it's a perfect description from 6-2 down. Flawless tennis from Federer. And now the third seed has the opportunity to move through to the second round. And this time it's Federer's turn to squander a match point opportunity.
7-0. Thank you.
This match could not be more finely balanced. 7-all. It's a heavy forehand from Federer. No chance of missing that. Spin taking the ball over the net, dipping down into the court.
And the confidence that we've seen demonstrated from Federer on these big points, just remarkable that he can raise his level when most needed.
Well, Lundgren having problems containing his anxiety. Second match point for Federer. Well, Federer definitely saving his best tennis for when he's down in this tiebreak. Full marks to Draper, making Federer win the point. His brother can hardly watch, and who blames him?
Wait. Put the ball, please. Ball. Put the ball on the court. Thanks.
Missed it.
9-8. Draper.
Just coming inside the ball a little bit too much. Draper incredibly now has an opportunity on his 7th match point to close out this match.
Is it going to be lucky 7 for him?
Too big. 120 across the radar.
9-0.
There's no answer to that. And the crowd being treated to quite a match here on day 2. No clues really as to who's going to move safely through to the second round.
All we know is that Federer is going to just keep going for everything, regardless of how many match points are facing him or how many match points he has on his own.
Serving at the tough end. Some heavy forehands from Federer.
10-9. Federer.
Draper unable to stay in the rally. And it's now a third match point for the third seed.
First set.
Well, we said that Federer would keep going for it regardless of the score. Maybe a bit overzealous on that return.
He certainly has made a few unforced errors when he's been up in this breaker, but when he's been down, as you said, Doug, he's played some flawless tennis. Back on level terms, 10 points apiece. Rather unfortunate for Draper. Incredibly, first double fault of the match for the Australian. It has to come at the worst possible moment. Federer now serving. Fifth match point. There it is. Disappointment for Draper.
6-3, 7-6.
Delight for Federer. A tremendous match. Both players playing some exquisite tennis under pressure in the deciding set. But it's the third seed who prevails and moves safely through to the second round here in Cincinnati. Had some problems in the opening set. Federer managed to raise the level of his game in the second. Both players doing that in the third, but Federer eventually coming through 4-6, 6-3, 7-6.
Just a brutal match for Scott Draper of Australia to lose, squandering 7 match points. I mean, you feel for anyone who loses that kind of match, but such an effort from a qualifier, and Federer really showing why he's considered maybe the best player in the world right now, pulling out his best stuff when most needed.
That's the key, not only to be able to win when you're playing well, but to be able to win when you don't. That's exactly what Federer was able to do today.
In just over 2 hours, in an incredible tiebreaker in the third set, both players serving excellent first serve percentages. And if we look at double faults, well, that one double fault was all that Roger Federer needed. He got that to give him his last match point that he capitalized on. 29 winners off of the Draper side, 46 from Federer, only 29 unforced errors, only 27 from Draper. But Draper not successful in converting breakpoint opportunities, only 1 of 10. Federer, only 1 of 8. How unusual, both players really struggling to break serve.
Well, it was an amazing match, full of amazing shots. Let's take a look back at some of the best of the action. So confirmation that the third seed survives and moves safely through to the second round, but only by the skin of his teeth, and he'll play the winner of the match between David Nalbandian and Wayne Arthurs, who are yet to play. Already through in that section of the draw, 13th seed Fernando Gonzalez, who enjoyed an excellent win yesterday evening, and Juan Ignacio Chela, who beat Harold Kuchera 6-1, 6-1.